Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this F2 League for the Invictus Racing Leagues. I'm your host with the most, Malk. With me, as always, is my partner in crime with the commentary booth and with all the English Scottish banter. Definitely there is Craig. How you doing, Craig?
I'm doing very well. Certainly, my voice is very rested after last night's exciting Performance League, and I'm expecting more of the same from tonight's F2 Eco Performance League.
Yeah, and it'll be a good cracking race tonight, Craig. And also with me tonight is one fantastic driver, and you don't want to mess about with him too much. So say hello to Mike. How you doing, Mike?
Oh, very well, mate. Very well.
Yeah. Yeah. How was last week's performance of your commentary? Are you gonna go for it tonight in Bahrain?
The- Yeah, I think it was okay.
You think it was okay?
Yeah.
Well, Bahrain, this is gonna be manic tonight. I think. Don't you think?
Oh, if it's gonna be half the action from yesterday, it should be really, really, really interesting. Lots of fights and everything.
Yeah. Oh
Hope
God.
not too many DNFs or something like that, but a lot of overtaking.
Yeah, I'm sure that guaranteed a few overtakes and stuff, but it was a bit of a surprise from yesterday's Performance League where there was a few DNFs and stuff. But
And
what did
last
you think
and
about tonight?
last and last week's F2 race, where it was won at the start finish line on penalties when Gazaman took his first ever race win, and his first
Yes.
ever race. So, just before I continue, quick good evening to Co Tactics. As he says, good evening, guys. So,
Ah,
yeah, very unpredictable
Hello.
last week. Come down to the wire, and I'm hoping for some more of this same this week.
Yes, definitely. I can't wait for it tonight. And obviously, Bahrain, you're not going to get any wet weather. If you do, there's something wrong with the game at all times. Um,
Yeah,
but
certainly. I
I just
think
want to say,
there's. I certainly think if we get any rain in the Middle East, then there's certainly questions to be asked. But yeah, I'm looking forward to tonight's race, and I hope that those that join us for tonight's live stream enjoy it as well.
definitely. It's just going to be very intense moments. And I just want to say a quick question to you two, actually. Well, a couple one actually. What's your overall of Bahrain in general? Do you like the track? If would you ever go to it, or would you think you would not do the race at all if you was racing? Uh, Craig or Mike, I'll let you two
I would
decide.
love to go to the Bahrain Grand Prix. Probably the two Grand Prix that I would go to are Bahrain first and foremost, and Singapore. And we do know a good friend that has actually been to Singapore twice, Zimmer Frame Hero, and from the feedback
Oh,
from
legend.
himself, a fantastic weekend. And certainly
Yeah.
that was one of my personal favourites. I would love to go to that Grand Prix.
Definitely. It's a lovely overview. And have you seen one of them buildings where it's like a swimming pool and you go over it, you can see like most of the track. It can be like heaven, heaven across. Um, what about you, Mike? What do you think of
no.
Bahrain as a track?
Yeah, yeah, the track itself is good. I like it. Nice layout. A few challenging corners or sections, might I say, like turn 9 and 10.
Yeah,
Great overtaking opportunities. Great. But I
definitely.
imagine in real life there is more sand on the track itself, like in the game.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like an open desert, isn't it? With Bahrain, you just don't know what to expect, and it's a good track. It's good, like some straights. It's kind of like Austrian, a bit of it. Don't you think? Like with some of the straights as well, and you just don't know what to expect. I mean, with the guys here that with F2, I mean, I know No Fudge currently sitting in the top of the championship at the minute, and then you've got Nick who's in second at the minute. So um, it's just going to be absolutely, you know, it'll be very interesting to see how these guys can capitalise.
It'll be interesting as well, Mark, to see what tyres each driver goes for. Gazaman currently on the super soft tyre, so unlikely we'll see another one-stop strategy from Gazaman in the Sauber this week. The only driver currently on the soft tyre is Sir Spud, as all other drivers are out on track. Sir Spud yet to leave the garages, and he'll be certainly ruining that missed opportunity in last night's race, successfully securing pole, but then just let the nerves get the better of him, and just resulted in a drive-through penalty. So Sir Spud certainly wanting to make up for that mistake last night.
Yeah, definitely. He just don't want it to double trouble.
Yeah, I was watching now Nitro Gash. He had a little slide coming out of turn 1. He did good yesterday in the qualifying, so maybe he can deliver tonight also.
Just as you're talking there, Mike, No Fudge set a 1:30, quite a slow lap for F2. We're anticipating low 29s, possibly high 28s. As No Fudge does get beaten by Chicken, Owens and JFM UFC, now securing a 29.5. So the lap times are flying in at the moment as F1 Richard approaches turn 14. So what opening lap can F1 Richard secure in the McLaren?
Never missed has just done a fantastic lap. Oh, Meg Lumpy! Oh my god, what a lap!
29.3.
So Meg Lumpy very high on confidence after last week's result and yesterday's result as well. So currently in a 29.3, the quickest at the moment, securing a 2/10 gap over championship rival JFM UFC. So it's getting really tight at the front of the pack at the moment.
Oh, Notorious! Oh, second!
Fantastic qualifying lap there from Notorious. He was unfortunate and unlucky last night in the Performance League in the Williams, I believe, and again last week in Brazil, so hoping to make up for it as Nick Thompson moves up to second.
No fudge.
So No Fudge, that is a double hot, that's a double hot lap from No Fudge, because he'd actually set a hot lap previously, so he stayed out on track and he's went even quicker.
We have 3 drivers within 1/10. I mean 4.
But I think the Renault driver No Fudge will be a bit worried there. He set 2 hot laps in the super softs, and certainly a high degrading track for tyres, so he'll be hoping on his second attempt to go even quicker in fresh super softs, so that he can give himself his best opportunity on tyre strategy. He's caught up in a little bit of traffic at the moment with the Haas as we approach turn 9 and 10, and that's Nick Thompson in the Haas just ahead.
Tej Race has done a good lap of 1:29.9 on the Ferrari car in 10th place. Just watching Sir Spud on the soft tyre now. Guys, what do you think of it so far in qualifying? Do you think there'll be a bit of a shock near the end, or do you think it'll be near what you see now?
I certainly think we're going to see the times coming down as the track evolves. So I think it's going to depend on who can be last on track, where it's most rubber done. And
29.8 for Spud, 3.7.
Spud trying to, he's certainly looking to repeat history after last week qualifying soft, getting it wrong on the super soft tyre, but ultimately securing a decent result last week in Brazil.
That is a good lap. That is a real good lap on soft tyre.
It would be good for Spud if he could stay in top 10 with his time.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
You have some quick drivers who didn't go as fast as they can, I guess.
So between first and 18th is like 1.5 seconds, guys. 1.5 seconds.
Yeah,
just unbelievable.
I think we'll see that gap close down. I certainly think it will get quicker. So actually, I think just the first lap's always a bunker lap. Just make sure that you don't invalidate it, that you don't burn through a set of tyres unnecessarily, and for your second attempt you go all out for it. And I think we saw that with No Fudge doing a double hot lap because he certainly went quicker in the second attempt, but he will have higher tyre degradation than the drivers round about him. But I think you're right.
On an out lap.
But I think you're right in what you were saying earlier on, Mike. If Spud can stay within the top 10 on this soft tyre, he puts himself in a strong position for the race.
Yeah, he can choose during the race if he's going to go one stop or two stop depending on traffic and everything. Chicken Owens is going now on a quick lap.
Yeah, he just starts his Chicken Owens just starting his hot lap, coming into turn 1, slightly misses the apex, trying to open up the corner of turn 2, very tight on the apex of turn 3, will move across to the outside of the track as he prepares for turn 4. He needs to hug that apex, and he does as he comes up to the end of sector 1. He's got a sector 1 time of a 29.1, so slightly down on competitors. I'm expecting a 28 second sector 1, so he'll be hoping to make up that time in turn 9 and 10 in the run up the hill to turn 12 and 13. He's got a little bit of traffic ahead of him. He can possibly get the toe as well as DRS, but in the corners he'll be picking up the dirty air.
This is going to be quite intense match. We've got 2.5 minutes.
That's a Ferrari in front of him, I think.
It'll be...
Yeah, it's never missed.
Oh, runs wide out of turn 13 onto the gravel. I think, I'm just hoping that Chicken Owens has enough fuel on board to have a second attempt.
Oh yeah, he has. He has still fuel for 2.5 laps.
So despite that mistake at turn 13, puts it on provisional pole. Certainly more time to come from Chicken Owens.
By almost 2/10. So really good at.
Oh my god, I'm just watching Gazman now. Pardon me, bad timing, sorry.
Yeah, well, that's going on. Meg Lugby just coming through the end of sector 1, sets a 28.7, so that's quicker than Chicken Owens' sector 1 time. So Meg Lugby very much in contention for pole position.
Gazman still on the rest straight, coming up the hill on the S's. Coming up to the end of sector 2 now, and he's got a time of a 28.8 on sector 2, so it still needs a little bit of a push, like to try and get there. Spud is on super softs on his outlap, so I'd be interested to see if he can try and do it, but he comes on the last corner now for Gazman at 25, 26, 27, 28, 20. He moved up to second.
Yeah, that's a great time from Gazaman, just out with 0.2 of a second. GFM takes provisional pole, 29.1. Meg Lugby. So Meg Lugby, the first driver to break the 28 marker, a 28.7. And I was talking to Meg Lugby in the lead up to the F2 race. He'd actually put it in the 28s in practice, and he didn't believe he was going to emulate that tonight. Well, he's just proven himself wrong, and he's put it into the healthy 28. It's a 4/10 advantage over JFM UFC. So Meg Lugby in a very strong position at the moment, but can Chicken Owens steal that back from him and put himself on provisional pole? Just as we come to the end of qualifying, there's a little bit of a slide through turn 6 and 7 as we run down the hill round turn 8. Little bit of traffic just ahead as we approach turn 10 and 11. Sorry, 9 and 10.
Just watching Nick Thompson coming up the hill now, coming up to the end of sector 2. 28.7. This may be a good lap, but we don't know. It might just not be enough. I don't know. It might prove me wrong.
So Tejwa picks up the checkered flag there. Malk is secured 9th. So not too disappointing from Tejwa, a 29.6, certainly within the top 10, and that's great for Ferrari. Because so that's certainly very important for Nick Thompson. in relevance to the championship table, competing against No Fudge, who's currently down in 6th. So can No Fudge move up the order? So Chicken Owens puts it in 2nd.
He's going into the last corner.
So No Fudge moves from 6th up to 5th, drops with Notorious, put it in 5th. So,
oh my god.
Yes, Spud.
oh, Sir Spud in the 28 is fantastic, a 28.8. So we've got the top 3 drivers in the 28s, with Nick Thompson setting a 29 flat.
We've got waving tail on the last one. He's slowing down, going into the pits now. But oh my god, guys!
Yeah, both McLoughlin and Spud had a good qualifying yesterday, but they didn't convert it in the race. So I hope they have much more luck today.
Well, we have the top 12 drivers all within 1 second.
Oh yeah.
So this is shaping up to be something spectacular. The Bahrain Grand Prix could be something very special tonight in the F2 Equal Performance League race. But very important for Nick Thompson and No Fudge of where they find themselves on the track. No, Nick Thompson certainly needs to get a race win tonight, putting him back in contention for the Drivers' Championship. Currently 7 points behind No Fudge as we go into round 8.
Yeah, definitely. This is just absolutely intense, marvellous. I mean, fair play to McLoughlin and Spud.
Sorry to interrupt you there, Mark, but Chiel Neeland has had a disaster in the qualifying. He's actually sitting on track with his front left tyre on the nose of the car. So a mistake from Chiel Neeland. He's currently down in 13th and received a retirement, as well as MJ Coops. MJ Coops had an incident somewhere and actually lost his right tyre. So the final qualifications for qualifying are: pole position goes to McLoughlin with Sir Spud taking 2nd, Chicken Owens takes 3rd, Nick Thompson takes 4th, GFM UFC takes 5th, Notorious takes 6th, No Fudge in 7th, Gazaman in 8th, P3 will take 9th, Wave and Tail 10th, Tedjawar in 11th, never miss his fellow Ferrari driver in 12th, Chiel Neeland in 13th, BWA Clyde is 14th, 15th is Nitrogash, MJ Coop and the other Red Bull in 16th, 17th is Captain Stephanie's opening race of Invictus F1, and F1 Richard is down in 18th in the McLaren.
Oh, this is just absolutely fantastic, and
it is the calm before the storm, Malk. It is the calm before the storm.
Great qualifying session. 3 drivers into 28.
And the top 12 drivers as well, Mike, within 1.2 seconds. So, sorry, 1 second. The top 12 drivers in 1 second. So, I think strategy is going to be vital. But even more important is getting through turn 1, 2 and 3 with a clean nose, with that front wing intact. It is absolutely vital, and we've seen some incidents going into turn 1 on Monday's No Assists League and the Performance League on Tuesday. People just taking a bit too much risk at the start of the race, and I'm hoping that we don't see any of that tonight, that we have a bit of caution, and we can certainly have a very enjoyable and exciting F2 Grand Prix.
It's because I had too many biscuits, Craig. That's why. That's why.
Just before we get started, a quick good evening to Lance Stroll. Says good evening, guys. Hell of a threesome of commentators: the technician, the statistician, and the entertainer. Good job, guys. Meg Lugpay, what a lap that was, and that was from COD Tactics. So, COD Tactics certainly a fan favourite of Meg Lugpay.
I'm speechless, guys. I'm just absolutely speechless, and this is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, what do you think? Will Spud go for 1 stop? I think he will.
I reckon he'll go 1 stop. It just depends if he gets it into the 3. I reckon he'll get a 1 stop, but it depends on how No Fudge and Nick Thompson you know, them no Fudge and Nick Thompson are like the top two. You wonder now if they are going to go for the one stop as well, or probably.
Yeah.
I always think the two stops more quicker, but
I
as
think it
Sargent
is,
did,
but it is likely that you can be caught in traffic. But it's unlikely that too many cars will be doing the one stop. We saw, I think, 4 or 5 drivers try it last night in the Performance League, and it is possible, but I think it's highly unlikely
You
tonight.
can see on my example that the two stop was not such a good idea after all, because I lost out to Sarge for a quarter of a second at the end. So he was going one stop and I did 2 stops. So I think one stop is the better option.
I think is it lap 9 and then
Yeah,
and
lap
then
9 is the normal crossover if you're doing the two stop strategy. I was checking, Owens and Nick Thompson are coming together on the formation lap and both get disqualified. So an early error between Chicken Owens and Nick Thompson getting disqualified from the formation lap, as we've got yellow flags in sector 1 already. I certainly think if you're going to do the one stop crossing over to mediums from the super softs, I think you need to take them to about lap 11, possibly 12, so that you're not screaming those tyres at the end. But interesting tyre strategy choice from Nitro Gash and Captain Stiff, so very likely they'll actually go on the one stop strategy this evening.
Dave, I don't know about you guys, but I think I would have gone for it anyway.
I think one to be watched tonight is Nick. He did a lot of good overtakes yesterday.
I agree with that, Mike. He's the one to watch as well as No Fudge, because them two are the top 2 of the championship, the F2 league.
Yeah.
What
But
about you, Craig?
I think it's going to be interesting with the pressure on, certainly at the business end of the season, how Nick Thompson and No Fudge are actually going to drive against each other. Nick Thompson now receives a disqualification from the formation lap, so that might be something we could have to investigate after the race, just to ensure that drivers are leaving the appropriate spaces between each other on the opening formation lap. So we're just waiting for the drivers to enter their grid slots. Meg Lugpay's parked his car up alongside Sir Spud in P2. It'll be interesting to see that drag race going into turn 1 between the McLaren and the Mercedes driver. So we're certainly just waiting for the cars to form up. We're waiting for the race director to get us underway. We have 4, 5 red lights. We are go! It's a great start from Lugpay, but he's coming under pressure from the Mercedes into turn 1. The Toro Rosso from Chicken Owens right on the gearbox of the McLaren. Sir Spud tries a move up the inside into turn 1. It looks as if there's been front wing damage somewhere. So there's yellow flags in sector 1. It looks as if Chicken Owens is dropping down to 4th. But Nick Thompson, great start, moves up to 3rd in the Haas.
Oh my god, no, oh my god! This is unbelievable! Oh my god!
Oh, disaster for Notorious. He's actually off track at the exit of turn 4, and there's a spinning Haas. I think that was wave intel.
Yeah, waving tail's gone.
Gazaman has wing damage, left side.
Oh, I don't know what
Oh, P3 makes a move on the inside at turn 9 and 10, and Gazaman leaving the door wide open. Gazaman, just caught sleeping there from an early moving P3.
But he's coming from Tej now.
Yeah, and they could be teammates in F2 next season if the rumours and the discussions and gossip are to be true. So possible. Never miss. Rod's well off track there.
Oh god, I don't know what happened there with him, but this is just unbelievable. Tej is closing in on Gazaman.
Nick Thompson closing down in Sir Spud, the gap 0.3 of a second, and this is vital for the Drivers' Championship. Nick Thompson has a little look up the inside of Spud. Can he make the move into turn 1? He's too far back to attempt it and thinks better of it, but Sir Spud runs wide. So could Sir Spud with his compromised turn 3 exit. Come under pressure from Nick Thompson. He does. Nick Thompson moves onto the inside. Looks to put it up the inside of turn 4. They're wheelie as they come round turn 4. Nick Thompson slightly ahead as we approach turn 5 and 6. And Nick Thompson gets the move done. That is vital for the Drivers' Championship. But Spud could come under pressure from Chicken Owens in 4th.
While you're watching that, Craig, I just saw an incident between Gazman and Tedrock. You know, after the first, I think it was the first turn, Tedrock did absolutely fantastic to try and go over the outside. And I don't know if there was enough room, I can't really say much, but I think there was a bit of a collide and both cars just went off track and stuff, so we'll have to view it again afterwards. So I'll let you carry on with that one, guys.
Nitro Gash, fantastic start. He's up to P9 on the medium tyre, slightly behind MJ Coupe. He's put it in the wall at the exit of turn 13.
Oh.
Chill. Oh, come on. What a move. Oh, fair play. Oh, my God.
Evan Richard is attacking Nitro Gash on the straight.
And on the
on the medium tire.
And on the run down to turn 1, no fudge, putting pressure on Chicken Owens with DRS active this lap. So Chicken Owens
overtook Nitro Gash.
Chicken Owens could come under pressure from the no fudge as he's attacking Sir Spud. So Chicken Owens, although he wants to move forward, he's going to have to watch his wing mirrors from behind.
P3 and Nitro Gash are battling out for points.
Battle. Yeah, Nitro Gash lost out. Yeah, but he's on the medium tire. He's in no hurry, actually.
Yeah, Nitro Gash knows that he can go longer in this race. He certainly doesn't need to attack this early. He can just wait for the cars ahead to pit. He just needs to get the slipstream and get pulled round track and just remain competitive. He's in a strong position at the moment in 10th. So he just needs to bide his time as F1 Richard opens up lets the door open to P3. There's contact there in the exit of turn 11, and it looks as if the Red Bull and it looks as if GFM UFC was in a collision there as well on the inside of turn 11 as well in the barrier.
Nitro Gash has severe wing damage on the right side. He has to pit.
Got no fudge closing in on Chicken Owens. Chicken Owens closing in on Spud on the first long straight of the passing the start and finishing line. Oh my God, can we do it? Oh no, Fudge is trying his hardest to try. Tedra has moved up to 10th now. Waving Tail's going to have the DRS, and he's got DRS on the right side. Tedra holding on. You got F1 Richard. Oh, Waving Tail holding on. He didn't want to hold there, but fair play. There's a good battle here going on. JFM it has retired from the session, but we've got another battle going on for Waving Tail coming up for the inside. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, because he get caught up in that, F1 Richard just walks through that open door that was left open by the Haas driver. So F1 Richard moves up to 11th, putting pressure on Tejwa, but he could come under the pressure from Waving Tail looking at the inside of turn 8.
Oh my God.
Chicken Owens is close again to Spud. Spud has some problems.
Yeah, it looks as if Sir Spud just lit up the rear tyres on the run up to turn 12. That allows Chicken Owens to run even closer to Sir Spud. No fudge, almost get caught out with Chicken Owens' line there at turn 13.
P3 on the charge to try and catch up to the leaders here. We've got no fudge closing in on Chicken Owens.
This will be a three-way battle.
Yeah, Sir Spud, the only car without DRS, Chicken Owens and no fudge do. Starting to close down Spud and Mighty. No fudge tries to dive. That is and there's contact between no fudge and Sir Spud.
Oh no.
Yeah, a very risky move there from no fudge, trying to make the dive down the inside of turn 1. Just couldn't slow the car down, tried to avoid Sir Spud, and eventually ended up taking him off track with him.
Yeah, and Sir Spot I think has damage. Yeah, his wing right side is a bit damaged. Yeah, some winglets are missing.
And P3 could come under pressure from Red Bull driver MJ Coop as we come through turn 8. We're in lap 5, possibly another 4 laps to go before P3 requires a pit into the other tyre compound for his race strategy. So MJ Coop just needs to remain patient, but he will have DRS as he has a little look on the inside on the run down to turn 11. Takes a wider entry into turn 11 on the run up the hill to turn 12. P3 runs wide. MJ Coop looking to come back on turn 12. MJ Coop is inside for turn 12 and 13 and gets the move done.
Got the inside.
But he runs wide and that's allowed P3 to come back. So P3 will have DRS on the run down to turn 1.
No, he's got a better exit here.
And Sir Spud does come into the pit, so I think you were right there, Malk. That was front wing damage. P3 pits as well. That's a very early pit stop from Renault driver P3.
He's going for the 2-stop.
Yes, Spot went for the medium tires. But it's impossible. 23 laps, or is it possible?
If he can do it, Sir Spud can on that one.
Yeah, I hope.
Quick prediction coming in from Lance Stroll after 5 laps. His predictions will go Mig Lugby to take the win, P3 for second place, and Captain Stiff to take third place. I think that's a very ambitious prediction from Lance Stroll.
I agree with McLugby for a win, and I think Coop has a chance for a podium still.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I was actually laughing at Lance Stroll's prediction about Captain Stiff, but just looking at where Captain Stiff is right now, he's actually in P7 on the medium tyre. I think he actually started on the grid in P17. So, yeah, I think that's a fair shout from Lance Stroll about Captain Stiff.
I think that's a good shout from Lance there. Oh my god, this is going to be intense.
So Nick Thompson's actually took 0.8 of a second out of McLugby's lead. The gap now 6 tenths of a second as we approach turn 1. Both drivers on the super soft tyres, so very similar strategies at this stage of the race.
Oh my god.
Spot must be angry, you know. He was in a really good position, and the damage.
Yeah, it's hard to say on
Yeah.
that one. We'll have to watch it after.
Wow, Nick is closing in on McLugby. Half a second between them.
That's what Craig was just saying a few minutes ago, Mike. This is going to be very intense moments.
Yeah.
Just a quick prediction as well from Cod Tactics. He's going to go for Nick for the win, McLugby in second, and third will be MJ Coop. So very interesting predictions from both of our members there.
Yeah, everybody seems to forget about Chicken Owens.
Yeah, he's only 4.6 seconds behind. He's dropping off a little bit, so his tyres may be going off a bit quicker.
Oh, he had a big problem now. He almost lost the car. Oh, Nick.
Yeah,
McLugby.
McLugby isn't going to fight that one. He's going for the undercut for Nick Thompson. It'll be interesting to see what tyres he switches over to. Will he go for soft? Will he go for another run super soft? Or will he cross over to the medium, trying to stretch them? Yeah, so that is going to be the 2-stop strategy from McLugby. Chicken Owens in the pits. What's Chicken Owens going on?
Super soft.
And MJ.
Chicken is super soft.
Yeah, so very interesting, the tyre strategies so far. So that moves Captain Stiff up to 5th with Tedjar 1.1 seconds behind and F1 Richard. It was really close here, but dropped off a bit at the exit of turn 1, 2 and 3. So Tedjar opening up the gap to F1 Richard behind in the McLaren.
Yeah, Touch needs to make a move on Captain Steve because in the next stint there will be the tires will be reversed. He will be on the slower tire and Captain Steve will be on the faster tire.
Yeah, Chicken was putting a lot of pressure on Haas driver Waving Tail as we run down to turn 8, approaching turn 9. He's right on the gearbox. He just has to come through 9 and 10, sticking in behind the Haas, getting the toe and getting the DRS over. He tries to turn even quicker, and he's really wanting to get this move done. He has the inside line, he will have DRS. And he gets the move done, comes across to try and defend and block the Haas driver, but oh, he runs wide at exit turn 1, has a bit of oversteer, there's a little bit of lag I think, but he remains ahead of the Haas driver.
Oh, that was a close call there.
Oh, Chill Ninja went off the track a bit. McLaughlin is going to overtake him now with DRS.
Yeah, McLaughlin gets a better exit coming out of turn 14. DRS so
coming out of in the pits. Yeah, he's gone. Yeah, he's out, gone for the soft tire.
Yeah, and
So,
Meg Lugpick can use Chill Neeland as a buffer between himself and Nick Thompson. Nick Thompson's going to have to get his move done as quick as possible, and he makes a dive on the inside of turn 4. So Fresh Soft certainly getting that move done very easily on Chill Neeland on 9-lap old Super Softs.
He definitely heard you there, Craig. He should get that pass quick.
Tedger now closer than ever to Captain Steve. 0.4 seconds.
So Nick Thompson, after his pit stop, up in third, currently 1.6 seconds behind Meg Lugpay, and it's vital for No Fudge to get this move done and wave in tail as we come through 9 and 10. No Fudge down in 9th. Oh! He just almost ran into the back of the Haas driver. Looks as if Wave Intel really get bogged down in the exit of turn 10. No Fudge on fresher tyres, got the better exit.
Oh, Tedjar overtaking into the. Oh, nice. Great move from Tedjar.
Yeah, certainly utilising the quicker tyre compound, getting the move done on the inside of turn 12 and 13. But Captain Stiff just tucks in behind with the Mercedes and will have DRS. So Tedjar, it's vital that he gets a good exit out of turn 14, the run down to turn 1.
He's holding on for dear life here. Oh, he's going to go for the inside.
Yeah, Captain Stiff has a little look on the inside, thinks better of it. He knows he can go longer. Tedjar possibly put off with the wing mirror, the Mercedes in the wing mirror. Goes wide, it comes over across, and there's contact between himself and Chicken Owens. Not sure what happened there. Just trying to catch that in the replay. It looks as if Chicken Owens dived up the inside. Yeah, I think he was lagging a little bit earlier on. Certainly, we might have to review Chicken Owens' connection before round 9, which is the Austrian Grand Prix.
Yeah, but he's closing in on MJ Coupe.
Yeah, MJ Coupe on 10-lap old softs. McLaughlin gets the better exit from turn 10. He has DRS, gets the move done before turn 11. MJ Coupe isn't going to fight too hard. At the moment, he knows he has to pit, and those softs could could be hitting the cliff now. So the softs of MJ Coupe certainly struggling as he runs wide at the exit of turn 13, and he's going to have Nick Thompson in the Haas for company on the run down to turn 1. Nick Thompson's going to have to be very mindful that MJ Coupe could dive across into the pits.
Oh, that would be a bit too soon for the soft tyre.
Yeah, MJ Coupe decides to stay out, tries to tuck in behind the Haas. He does have DRS as well. MJ Coupe's struggling to find a way past Nick Thompson. Nick Thompson certainly on the fresher tyre at this point in the race, and Nick Thompson gets the move done. He's currently 9/10 behind Meg Lugpay.
Yeah, but MJ Coupe is in a good position actually. If he goes for the one stop.
What a move from Nick Fudge. Oh, what a move!
And that was vital as well, Mark, to actually get chasing after Nick Thompson. Although it doesn't really need to beat Nick Thompson, it would certainly be helpful, but it could be damage limitation tonight. Currently down in 5th Both drivers seem to be on the same strategy, and he's currently about 8-9 seconds behind Nick Thompson, but he's got a little bit of traffic in the form that is Tejua and MJ Coop, who's yet to pit.
Yeah, I'm just watching a few of the cars. Oh, this lovely helicopter view here. We've got Notorious Chill firing out against Clyde for 11th place. You've got F1 Richard, Nitrogash and Waving Tail battling out for 14th, 15th and 16th respectively. And then you've got to go back into the top half where you've got No Fudge closing in on Tejua. This is quite intense moments here, and it's just absolutely fantastic moments.
Yeah, so there's a few trains developing at this point, Mark, and it'll be interesting to see. Not quite the 8 carriage train that we saw last night, but certainly a few trains developing as Nick Thompson closes down Meg Lugby again. The gap 8/10 of a second.
Will attack that jar in any moment now. Yeah.
Oh, there's a little battle between Wave Intel and Nitrogash on the exit of turn 14. Wave Intel goes down the inside of turn 14 as Nitrogash runs slightly wide on the exit, and that's allowed the Haas driver, that is Wave Intel, to move up to 15th.
That jar struggling to defend against No Fudge.
Oh, this is going to be intense.
Yeah, Tejua looks to be really struggling with the rear end of the Ferrari. Certainly coming out the slow car turn 8, and it runs wide. Just wonder if Tejua had picked up front wing damage from that earlier incident with Chicken Owens.
No, he hasn't got front wing damage, Craig. It's going to be very intense moments here. We've got Chicken Owens closing in on Spud.
Yeah, and Chicken Owens does have front wing damage on the left hand side.
Nigel goes to go 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Oh my god.
McLaughlin and Nick, they're pulling a bit away, and the gap between them is pretty much the same all the time.
Chicken Owens looks as if he's going to have a good run down to turn 1, and it's a Spud.
Pitting now.
Chicken Owens has a little look round the outside, tries to make Spud go defensive, but Sir Spud has him covered off.
MJ Cube went for the super soft tire. That's a bit strange.
I think he could be going for a double super soft strategy at the end of the race, looking to go quicker. But going that long in the race, he could have went over to the medium tyre and went for the one-stop strategy.
We got
Sir Spot on in P5.
Yeah, that's a good catch up from him. We got a
I hope he can go to the end.
And Captain Stiff in a great position, up in 4th on the medium tyre, yet to pit. So great call from Lance Stroll there.
Where's the betting slips, guys? We need that betting slips, and we need that money in now. Because I think that could happen. Oh, we got a 4-car battle here for 4th? No, for 7th. Sorry, no, for 8th. I don't know what position I'm looking at now. We got.
Yeah, I think you meant 8th. Yeah.
Yeah, we got another car battle here. We've got the 2 Mercedes battling out.
Nick with the fastest lap.
Oh, never miss, goes defensive in turn 13, but MJ Coop in the super soft tyre just goes round the outside, going wheel to wheel in the run down to turn 14. Never miss, slightly ahead, so manages to keep the Ferrari ahead in 8th place, but MJ Coop tucks right in behind, gets a toe out of turn 14 and 15, has DRS on the run down to turn 1. MJ Coop moves to the inside line, but looks like there's a Toro Rosso and a Sauber battle slightly behind as well. So MJ Coop moves up to P8 with the Sauber and the Toro Rosso battling continuously. But the Toro Rosso BWA Clyde up in 10th looks to put pressure on Never Miss in the Ferrari. Never Miss has a little look on the inside of turn 4. MJ Coop shuts the door. Never Miss runs a little bit wide, but that's allowed BWA Clyde to come into play on the medium tyre.
Captain Stiff closing into Chicken Owens.
Yeah, lost a position there.
Squad.
I think Chicken Owens moved up to P5 on the super soft tyre, but certainly Captain Stiff holding on to the back of Chicken Owens in lap 14.
Oh, P3, and he's skidded there. He's in P7 at the minute, but he's trying his hardest to catch up to the leaders here. But we've got BWA Clyde closing in on Never Miss on 9th and 10th respectively. Oh, this is going to be a very fantastic moment here, guys. I absolutely love it.
He's almost close enough to that Ferrari to actually high five Never Miss. So really tucking on to the, or holding on to the back of that Scuderia Ferrari as we run down to turn 14. Never Miss starts to open up the gap, possibly running a little less wing compared to, oh, Doro's a big slide from BW Clyde exit turn 14. He has to lift, and that allows Notorious to move up to P10 in the Sauber.
Oh, P3 just missed his braking point into turn 1, trying to overtake Captain Stiff. He failed. So
No Fudge has actually moved up to P3, so behind Nick Thompson in position, but 11.8 seconds behind. And No Fudge possibly in clear air to be looking to close down the Haas of Nick Thompson.
Oh, Tedrow closing in on F1 Richard. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Oh, on the S's. Oh, no. Do not do this. Oh, my God. 2 side by side on these. Oh, God, yes. No, he's lost.
He missed the braking point.
Oh my God, that was too bad. Them 2 side by side guys, and you've seen it as well, Mike. Craig, it was just absolutely epic from these two, and they're still battling out. It's just unbelievable. And then you got Notorious.
As we approach turn 17, P3 got the move done, and Captain Stiff coming out of turn 10, assisted with DRS. Captain Stiff tried the switchback, coming through turn 11, misjudged P3's pace, and just lost his end plate.
He went for the soft. Yeah, that was his last stop. But without wind change.
Bit difficult.
So Chicken Owens, after his pit stop, drops down to 14th.
Oh, what a move from Tej. And then you got a battle going on for Chicken Owens and F1 Richard.
Yeah, and Chicken Owens looking to put pressure on F1 Richard in the run down to turn 4. Well, Chicken Owens trying to make an attempt in the inside turn 4. Decides against it. Oh, a little bit of lag. That means Chicken Owens has to lift. And that'll compromise his run on F1 Richard into turn 8. But it's a great exit coming out of 5, 6 and 7. As we come through the tight hairpin, as turn 8 gets him moved on underneath F1 Richard. And he'll be looking to chase down Tejua. On the run down to turn 11, looking to make up for that earlier incident coming out of turn 1.
Yeah, still got another battle here for Notorious and BWA Clyde closing in, but might go back to the Tetrarod Chicken Owens. Will Tetrarod Chicken out by it? I do not know, but we'll have to wait and see. No Fudge is pitted, which we'll believe will be...
Yeah, that's
up to P3.
That's No Fudge going on the soft tyre, and that's a sprint to the finish, so Nick Thompson will be aware that No Fudge pitted from behind, but Nick Thompson could stretch these soft tyre and go on to the super soft. They did have a healthy gap of around 10 or 11 seconds, so Nick Thompson can control his own fate at the moment, go a little bit longer and look to cross over to the super softs in lap 18, possibly 19.
Oh my God, Chicken Owens and Tej. Oh no, don't do this. Oh my God, this is unbelievable.
Yeah, Chicken Owens thought about the move into turn 4, decided against it. He knows the turn 8 hairpin is a heavy braking zone and a good opportunity for an overtake, but he's not close enough yet to Tejua. He knows in a couple of turns they'll have it, but Tejua goes deep at turn 8 That allows Chicken Owens to close down the Ferrari ahead. Coming through the double-hander, or double left-hander, as Tedgeworth runs wide. Chicken Owens a great exit on fresh softs compared to Tedgeworth on the mediums, but he can't get the move done.
Oh, Notorious went wide and that allowed no fudge to pass.
And Captain Stiff and MJ Coop continuing their race-long battle. MJ Coop moves up to 5th, moving on the underneath him in turn 14, but Captain Stiff tucks in behind. DRS Oldham, just needs to get the toe of the Red Bull as we run down to turn 1. MJ Coop goes on the racing line round the outside. Captain Stiff trying it on the inside, he just can't get close enough, and MJ Coop keeps that position.
Wave Intel, closing on shield, near them.
Oh, F1 Richard goes defensive on the inside. Chicken Owens had a look round outside out of turn 1. Look at it just go round F1 Richard, but F1 Richard positioning his car perfectly to defend Chicken Owens from behind.
Oh my god, this is unbelievable. I was going to say, Craig, did you want a drink? Let Mike carry on.
I've got a can of juice right next to me, so I'm refreshed.
Nick fell a bit behind now.
Yeah, I wonder if he's maybe had a bit of a slide or something. Unsure what really happened to Nick on track. He's still on the soft tyre as we start lap 19. So we could see Nick Thompson come into the pits this lap.
Yeah, but we have to say, until now, excellent race from McLaughlin. He doesn't do anything wrong. He's just going. He's doing his race.
Yeah, you're completely right there, Mike. He's just got on with what he's needed to do this race. He's a 3.3 second gap over Nick Thompson. But will both Meg Luckby and Nick Thompson pit on lap 19? Or will Meg Luckby look to go a bit longer as F1 Richard pits from 11th? That moves Chicken Owens up a position to 11th, looking to chase down Tedgeworth slightly ahead with a 1.6 second gap again. No fudge after his pit stop onto the soft tyre again. Currently in 7th, struggling to get by Captain Stiff, who is yet to pit, so still on the medium tyre.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Oh, it looked like No Fudge was going to go on the inside.
Yeah, it does, but it just gets caught out by a hard defending Captain Stiff. So great racing between the Renault and the Mercedes.
Whoa, looking at the gaps, if Spot can make the mediums last to the end, he's actually looking strong for P3.
Well, once Nick Thompson pits, and he does, that'll move Sir Spud up to 2nd, but Nick Thompson will possibly be on super softs, and it looks as if he will be. So Sir Spud, he could move up to 2nd. Sir Spud just coming through the start-finish straight now as Nick Thompson just makes his way back onto track. So Sir Spud up to 2nd. Nick Thompson just exiting the pit lane and comes out on 3rd place.
Yeah, the important thing is he came out in front of Coop. Yeah.
So Chiel Neeland pits from 8th. That'll probably be a transition over to the super softs, and Captain Stiff eventually makes his pit stop on lap 19, and he does cross over to the super soft tyre. Looks as if it could be coming out 13th, 14th position, but he'll be certainly making a sprint to the finish.
Yeah. BWA Clyde and Notorious are having a fantastic battle between themselves. It's like the Sab and Mike show here. Will Clyde hold on?
Yeah,
Oh, no!
Notorious.
Oh, BW Clyde left the door open. Notorious trying to throw it down the inside of turn 4, but BW Clyde managing to get the power down. Oh, it's both drivers go wheelie wheel round turn 5 and 6.
Oh, what a move!
McLaughlin is in the pits.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how close Sir Spud will be to Meg Lugpay as Meg Lugpay exits the pit lane. McLugby does cross over to the super soft tyre. So
Oh,
Spud
Spud
looks
is
to me.
sprinting.
Oh
Spud.
no! So Spud looking to go for a sprint to the finish. I think he felt under pressure from the drivers ahead. McLugby just coming out the pit lane. Nick Thompson on a charge, running down to turn 1, but it looks as if McLugby will hold on to the
Spud
race
going
lead.
out. Coop overtook Spud now in the pit.
Yeah, but the
As
question
no
is,
fudge.
yeah, and I think Sir Spud will come out ahead of Wave Intel as Wave Intel
yeah.
just goes by the pit entry lane there. But this is going to be an interesting development and run down to turn 1. But I think Sir Spud has it.
P3 closing in on Chicken Arms. Oh, I got on the inside.
Yeah, Chicken Owens left the door open on the inside of turn 1. P3 tried to move down, but Chicken Owens just had it covered off. But P3 a great run down to turn 4 on the inside. Can he get the move done? Cars really wheel. Oh, the Renault and the Toro Rosso battling out in the exit of turn 4 into turn 5.
What a move from P3. That is just fantastic racing from him. But this is going to be intense moments here. I don't know what to say anymore. I don't know what to say.
MJ Cube needs to pit again. Yeah.
He's on.
Yeah.
How many?
He will pit anytime now. So that leaves then 9 seconds gap between No Fudge and Spud.
Nick Thompson certainly is on a charge as he sets the fastest lap of 1:31.0 as Core
MJ Cube
Tactics.
is going into the pits right now.
A quick message of support for Nick from Core Tactics. Come on, Nick, attack!
Yeah. But I
You
think
can
that
do it!
McLugby is pacing himself.
And after MJ Coop's pit stop, that moves Sir Spud up to 4th.
P3, inside on the turn 1. No, it's
Tej, you are not wanting to give up that position easily. But P3 had inside line and they controlled the entry into the corner, so P3 moves up to 6th. As Tedjar drops to 7th with Nick Chicken Owens slightly behind in P8.
Tedjar is not a guy easy to overtake.
No, he's certainly a hard defender.
And very experienced.
Like proper experience. We're like 7 or 8 years now. Sorry, 10 years, sorry, of all the F1 games and he's practicing.
Sorry to interrupt you there, Mark, but Notorious looks to be putting pressure on Never Miss as we come through turn 9 and 10. So Notorious looking to get a move into the points.
Oh, Wave Intel going a bit wide onto the curb.
Yeah, and that's compromised Wave Intel's pace up the hill, and it's allowed Tedjar on the medium tyre to come into play. So Tedjar looking to get a good run down into turn 14.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Tedjar in the hunt. Yeah.
Yeah, Tedjar just remaining patient.
Sir Spud.
Yeah, on fresh super softs, that's a great lap there from Spud.
Oh my god! Jesus! We've got 4 cars battling over first!
Yeah, we've also had a retirement from Chicken Owens on the start-finish straight.
That could be because there was an incident at the start. I didn't see what happened, but it looked like there was a bit of a ghost car incident. I don't know, but we'll have to find out after the race. So, Wave Intel closing in on Tedjar for 6th and 7th respectively. You got Never Miss closing in on MJ Cube.
Sir Spud took off 4 seconds in the last 2 laps on No Fudge.
So No Fudge could possibly come under pressure from Sir Spud. So Sir Spud sensing that final podium position is up for grabs as we have 6 laps remaining of the 29 lap race.
Yeah. Okay, quick question, guys. Do you think Nick will get McLugby in the last?
No, I think McLugby's got him covered off.
Yeah.
but there is a 3-car train developing behind Never Miss. Oh, it's Never Miss goes on the inside of turn 13. MJ Coupe just goes round the outside. So MJ Coupe moves up to P8 with the Sauber driver Notorious, and P. Terry senses there is an opportunity for that Ferrari to be taken into turn 1.
No, but we might have a couple of cars.
Oh, we could have a 3 in the bed. We could. Oh, there's front wing damage.
No.
I think Notorious went into the back of the Ferrari.
2 in the bed. 3, come on. Oh, what a move. I need to stop this now. It's unbelievable. Oh, shut up now. Oh, God's sake.
Yeah, it looked as if Notorious received front wing damage in the run down to turn 1 and went deep. It certainly compromised his position on track, and that allowed.
Something's going on in sector 1.
I'm not sure what's happened.
I think. Oh yeah, Nitro. Off track. Now on track.
Yeah, he's had a spin there.
Oh, meanwhile, the gap between No Fudge and third spot 3.5 seconds.
Yeah, so Sir Spudge just took 2 seconds out of No Fudge over the course of 1 lap.
Come on, Spud.
Okay, next question,
my
guys.
ex-teammate.
Whoa!
Oh, Never Miss almost runs into the back of MJ Coupe. That allows BW Clyde to have a great run out of turn 13 into 14. It gives Never Miss not turn 14, but he'll be looking for the double toe in the run down to turn 1. MJ Coupe goes defensive on the inside line. Never Miss moves across to get the toe.
Oh my God.
Oh, Never Miss goes round the outside. MJ Coupe trying to squeeze Never Miss into turn 2.
Oh.
There's a bit of wheel banging, a bit of carbon fibre breaking off between Never Miss and MJ Coupe, and BW Clyde, ever the opportunist, tried to get the move done in both of them, but just could not find a way past both cars. Run wide, BW Clyde, try to make it on the inside.
He can take both now.
Oh, so BW Clyde overtakes Never Miss, and the Ferrari looks to make a run down to turn 8. Will he go the inside? Oh, it just can't get it done in MJ Coupe on that hairpin.
Oh my God. This is unbelievable.
Great driving from MJ Coupe. BW Clyde and Never Miss run right into the back of the Red Bull. Yeah, he outbroke himself and ran right into the back of the Red Bull. So disaster for Never Miss.
Oh, meanwhile, the gap between No Fudge and third spot is 2.2 seconds.
Oh, I'm just going wide.
Yeah, Never Miss runs wide. I think that's due to front wing damage, but MJ Coupe ran wide at the exit of turn 11. So MJ Coupe struggling with the Red Bull at this stage of the race.
Yeah, but he has pretty new tires. He pitted, I think, on lap 21.
Oh, great exit from BW Clyde at turn 14. Gets him moved on before he even gets DRS.
MG Cube has wing damage on the right hand side. That explains a lot.
Yeah, so BW Clyde secures that 8th position.
And third spot is almost within DRS range.
Yeah,
1.5 seconds.
Yeah, he's within touching distance of that Renault, so sensing a podium position is up for grabs.
Okay.
Yeah, and he has also plenty of fuel. Yeah, I think he will. He has plenty of fuel.
Just a quick comment for you, Malk, from Lance Stroll. Breathe, Malk, breathe.
Oh, that's classic, Lance.
Fair play, Lance. Fair play. I don't breathe.
I've just jumped on board with Captain Stiff for his opening race of F2. He was down in 15th after his pit stop, moves up to 11th and possible championship point up for grabs. He's just behind Never Miss as we run up the hill to turn 12, and he moves on the inside of turn 12. Never Miss struggling with front wing damage, so that makes it even easier with Captain Stiff and fresh super softs. So Captain Stiff with fresh super softs taking that first championship point possibly. Yeah, I think Notorious. Yeah, he'd received that on the run down to turn 1 in lap 26.
Gazaman. Oh my god.
Oh, Sir Spot is now 0.8 seconds behind No Fudge.
Yes, we just come round turn 9 and 10
DRS.
in the back straight. Will he have DRS? Yeah, he does. He's got DRS activated, but No Fudge has quite a decent gap. So Sir Spud just needs to get close enough up into turn 13 and the exit of 14 on the run down to turn 1, hoping to get a great dive down the inside at turn 1, but No Fudge very quick still. Oh, it was really...
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt there, Craig.
No, not at all, not at all.
I owe you a few drinks afterwards, and you, Mike, afterwards. Right, Gazaman did a beautiful overtake on the SEs. I think because Never Miss has got a bit of a front wing damage. And I need to breathe.
No Fudge going defensive, Sir Spot behind, open DRS.
Yeah, he's moved out the toe too early. So he's not allowing himself to have that full advantage of toe and DRS. And he just needs to try and work hard to reining No Fudge in the next couple of corners.
Correct. I'm wondering why Spud goes into the standard mode, because he has a lot of fuel.
I'm wondering if he's possibly waiting.
Rich and go, because it's the penultimate lap, so...
Yeah, I thought he might have dropped it to lean fuel on the exits of slow corners like turn 9 and 10, and as soon as you get that car straightened up, fire into Rich and get that DRS. So he's got a good opportunity to have a run down to get closer in turn 11 and 12. He certainly won't be close enough to make an overtaking opportunity, but he's running out of time as we start the run up to turn 12. Runs way onto the gravel slightly. It doesn't compromise the gap too much between himself and No Fudge. He's going to have to make these next few corners count. Misses the apex at turn 13, but he's still holding on to the gap of No Fudge as we run down to turn 14. He's going to have to give it everything he's got as Meg Lugby starts the final lap of the Bahrain Grand Prix. No Fudge holds on to a slight gap, which is half a second. Sir Spud tucks in behind, trying to get the toe in the DRS, but he just can't get closer.
No. Oh my god, this is unbelievable moment.
So Sir Spud running out of time, running out of time.
Let me check the penalties.
Yeah.
But great for Tejua, who's got himself up to 6th with that tyre strategy. So Tejua looking to take home some decent points tonight for Ferrari.
No penalties for No Fudge, but 3 warnings.
How does that work?
Yeah, check it, no penalty.
Okay. Well, we'll wait and see what the final classifications are as we come round turn 10, the back straight, the really final chance for DRS for Sir Spud. He really needs to get that move done. He might have to make the old fashioned banzai move into turn 14. No Fudge goes wide. Sir Spud just needs to tuck in behind. No Fudge as we come round turn 13. Sir Spud cuts the corner slightly onto the gravel. That's going to compromise his straight line speed.
Spud got a penalty, 3 seconds penalty in this corner.
So it's all over for Spud for that final podium position.
Yeah.
So congratulations to Meg Lugby, who's just won the Bahrain Grand Prix for the F2 League. Nick Thompson second. He got no points. He just managed to hold on for third. Spud hold on for fourth.
But
We've
as,
got
sorry, Mal, but as you're talking about that, so Captain Stiff and Gazzaman continuing to battle for 9 and 10 as we come through turn 13. Captain Stiff slightly ahead on fresh super softs, with Gazzaman chasing hard, but I don't think he can get close enough to make the opportunity stick. As we come through turn 14 and 15, and it looks as if Captain Stiff will secure 9th on his very first race, and does. So Gazzaman will take the final championship point at the Invictus F2 Eco Performance League race.
GQ. Hold it on. Yeah. Nearly according to F1 Richard. F1 Richard got 12, MGQ got 13, Chill on the last one got 14. Oh my god. I don't know about you guys. I think Craig needs a proper drink and proper iron brew drinks.
Oh yeah, he needs it.
Yeah. But fair play. And I tell you what,
Perfect race from McLuckley.
Yeah, absolutely control from Meg Lugby. Couldn't have got any better as Meg Lugby takes the top step and secures tonight's race win. Very impressive from Meg Lugby. Nick Thompson, despite his hard work, couldn't secure P1, but more importantly does beat championship rival, should I say, No Fudge, who does secure the final podium position. Third, it's fourth for Sir Spud. P3 does finish in position 5. Tedwar in 6th. Wave Intel 7th. BWA Clyde will take 8th. Captain Stiff takes 9th. Gazzaman takes the final championship point tonight with Never Miss taking 11th. F1 Richard takes 12th. MJ Coop takes 13th, Chill Nealand is in 14th, Nitrogash in 15th, Notorious in 15th, and that is the completed grid of the finishing racers tonight.
That is just absolutely fantastic, guys. Absolutely fantastic. And oh my god, what do you say about that tonight?
A lot. What's going on?
But I tell you what, we need to do this more often. You just don't know what to expect with the guys. You just don't know what to expect. And just a quick final recap. Mike, your final thoughts of the race tonight? What's your best bits?
Oh, I think the recovery drive from Spud was really great.
Yeah. What about the overtakes or anything like that? Or there was loads, wasn't there?
Yeah, it's hard to pick one. You saw one good overtake in the S section, you said before,
Yeah.
between the race.
Yeah, it was just absolutely fantastic. I have to watch it again because it's just like sweet move that was. But it was fantastic. Craig, after you've had a couple of iron brews,
I think there's too many. I think there's too many to even remember what actually happened. I'm still really stuck on everything that was going on, and I think I'm going to have to watch it back to actually remember what happened. Just want to say a quick thank you to everybody that took the time to comment and leave your feedback on tonight's live stream, and for all those that decided to join us for tonight's race. We certainly hope you enjoyed it as much as we did in commentating on it, and I certainly hope that you will join us next week for the Austrian Grand Prix. Certainly it's going to be another cracker, I'm certain.
Oh, definitely. I reckon it's just going to be. It's just Austrian. It's just one of those tracks where you just don't know what to expect. The first sector as well, that awkward second turn into it. But we'll just see how everyone does in the F2 League for next week. But can I just say a big thank you to Mike for joining us in the commentary. A special thank you as well, as always, to you two as well, and Craig. Thank you very much for the commentary, guys.
Thank you for having me.
You two have been fantastic. I've just chilled out and just screamed like a madman on that one, so that's it. But yeah, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone, and thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Stay classy, guys.